So fancy. So fancy. Welcome, Lambert. All right. And now I got to share my screen. Where'd the slides go? There they are.
Make sure your phone's off.
It's at least good.
It's at least good.
It's a work computer, so it's definitely off. Let's see here. Present. Yeah, I hit the present button. All right. Hey, first of all, just real quick, we'll just recap it. Other folks have heard me. In Zoom, there's a button down at the bottom of the screen called chat. Feel free to use that to send the questions. We're going to do all the questions at the end. So just send the questions as you have them. We will answer them. We are recording this meeting. We will, what we hope to do is post a link on the members only section of the website. So people who couldn't make it are able to attend. For those of you who have been lucky enough to never have to interact with me, my name is Mike Coleman. I am the current sitting president of the 107ers. I'm actually sitting right now. I'm joined in the room by all of our board members, most of whom you will hear from tonight. I'm going to kind of just give the same speech I gave on Sunday. So we're going to start with some comments. I guess I'll cover the OPI slides. Sean's not here. And I'll do the financials. And then Stefan will come up, hear from Sheba, hear from about game day operations. Nick will talk about events. Drew will talk about travel and RSGs. Lexi's going to talk about comms. Ray's going to cover technology and TAFC. Zach and Sarah will cover partners. And then Gabby's not here, so either Dawn or Lexi's doing Rose City Riveters. Dawn will do Riveters and call for volunteers. Then we'll do Q&A. We're not doing a breakout session. So as I mentioned, my name is Mike. I've been on the board now. I'm in my 6th year. And this is, to me, is a really interesting time for the 107ers. This was the first election cycle where we didn't have an incumbent running. So we brought in 4 brand new board members, which meant we said goodbye to 4 veterans. And we had Todd Diskin, who had served for 1 term, 3 years. We had Harper, who had served for over 2 terms, I believe, for over 6 years. And Scott Nando, who had been around since before the organization was actually officially an organization. And so we lost a lot of veteran leadership. And that could be simultaneously scary or simultaneously exciting. And a few years ago, it would have been pretty scary. I think now it's, because can we keep doing what we're doing? Can we keep growing and being successful as people start to move on to the next phase of their relationship with the Timbers Army and the Rose City Riveters? And have we done enough good enough job of putting processes in place, cultivating volunteers, bringing people along so that they could step in and we don't miss a beat? And I think we are firmly in that other camp. I think we're firmly in the camp that we know how to run this organization. That information gets passed along to everybody who comes to the board. We have a bunch of people who are volunteering deeply with the organization who, if they choose, are ready to move into board positions. And we've been able to take people like Rachel Harrison, who's our treasurer, who was on the board. Scott and Nando are still running merch. Nando's helping me with TIFA, that we keep these people in, but we let them work at whatever depth of interaction works for them. So I think we're in a really good spot. And I think, I want to thank those guys and Harper for what they did over the last years and welcome our new board members, Dawn and Gab, who's not here tonight, Sarah and Zach. And I think they're going to be tremendous additions. I think that, I only work with the best people. I've got the best people here with me right now. The beautiful people, really, honestly. You've never seen a person like this before. Anyway. So I'm going to talk a little about Operation Pitch Invasion. Yeah. So impeach, I don't know, what am I? I guess I'm President 4?
Recall. Recall.
OPI is a 501c3 nonprofit that was born out of the Timbers Army. And I think actually what they said is it predates the 107ist or pretty close. It's been around for been around for a long time. And for those of you who haven't interacted with OPI, OPI is a organization that goes out and they look for underutilized space in underserved neighborhoods to create soccer playing surfaces. So they've done mini pitches with turf. They have done renovated blacktop. So Project Blacktop there at Barnes Elementary, that's actually, and it wasn't because of this, but my wife used to teach at that school. And that is a very low socioeconomic school, a lot of Hispanic kids, apartment kids with not a lot of play opportunity, and they built a futsal court there in a space that we actually rigged Rose City Rivers TIFO one time, actually. And so we did a Fields for All project at Shane Bennis. And so in addition to rebuilding these fields, the other thing they do is they go around to other facilities and they renovate them. So we've done things like paint goalposts or redig sprinkler heads into fields, fill in low spots, so that the fields in and around Portland, we create them where necessary, we renovate them where necessary, and they're working on scaling up. So they have this thing called OPI America, and I may get this wrong, but the general gist is they want to create an information repository, a wiki, if you will, of information, so that folks like yourselves in Montana or Ohio or Pennsylvania or New Mexico or wherever you're at can go out and work with your local organizations. They'll give you the information on what those processes look like, the things you need to consider, and then work to take the OPI methodology out into the rest of the United States to just create more fields. The 107ist has had a long-standing relationship with OPI, and we've been a primary financial backer of them for the last several years, committing just at least $12,500. Also having done numerous other fundraising activities for them. So we're deeply committed. This is well in our wheelhouse of promoting the game from the grassroots to the highest levels. And this is how we get out there and really put an impact on the community. And you know, if you haven't been involved with OPI before, please check out their website. Maybe it's something you want to get started with in your community. We can get you hooked up with Sean or Nando or Rachel or Ty or Josh, who are the people that run Operation Pitch Invasion. I guess I'm going to do the merch update. No, you do the merch update, right? Yeah. I thought we had Scott and Nando do it, but you did it. Stefan is going to do it.
Hey guys, I'm Stefan Lewis. They call me Stefanzi, for those of you who don't know me. I'm going to go over the merch and facilities slides today. As Mike mentioned, Nando and Scott are heading up merch, but I'm continuing on as a liaison, and I do a lot of the local logistics for merch. So just a couple key points. This last year, No Pity Originals did 61 unique designs, not including like a bunch of the small items. 7,865 scarves sold, and with some of the new analytics we're able to do with some of the new software we're using, we know that there were 2,990 first-time customers this last year. So some areas of improvement for next year. We're going to really try to grow our relationship with the broader Timbers Army community. That's, you know, kind of like outside the 107th, outside the core, and more into the broader community and you guys out in other parts of the country and globe. So as a part of that, there's going to be a lot more social media interaction from No Pity Originals, and attending more community events around here. And something that didn't make this slide, but that's really prevalent to you guys, is really growing the relationship with regional supporters groups. Continue working with you guys, especially the more established groups, to help you guys along the way. No Pity Originals is also currently working on coming up with more solid guidelines of what makes a regional supporters group, to be able to really help facilitate things that, you know, really strong groups that have boots on the ground in their communities or wider in their regions, versus doing like a, you know, sporting a one-off scarf for one dude. Try to avoid that type of thing, and really, you know, continue to bring the heat. And the if you guys are around coming through, definitely pay attention to different volunteer opportunities. We've got a lot of stuff that goes on from day to day. So if you are coming through town, it's a great way to meet a bunch of different people, and kind of get, you know, see old friends or make new friends or whatever. It's a great thing, and there's always opportunities. So definitely check in on that. And yeah, keep bringing stuff down the pipe. Oh, and this is important for you guys too. This is from the logistical side. definitely keep your address updated for us, because we've had things actually. We had something go back and forth 3 times to Germany one time. So yeah, if you are out and about, make sure we have the right address for you. So, and then the facility side, this is a big one for us. Out of our last year's AGM, we had a big discussion about the future of our facilities, that being the Van Laden space, which obviously has a lot of functionality for us, and the warehouse space, which has huge functionality. So we have a dependable space to paint TIFO and store many things that we have. This past year, we were able to negotiate another 3 years on the Van Laden, another 5 years with the warehouse. And we spent a lot of time looking for comparables. Most likely, we're going to be relocating the Van Laden and merch in this area. But we'll most likely be moving the warehouse space outside of the immediate area. We also worked really well to increase the versatility of the space that we do have to be able to accommodate a lot of the stuff that we do. So things that we're trying to do going forward is continue to better utilize our space. The next time you guys come through, you'll probably notice that the book library has been expanded. You may not notice some of the other projects that we'll be doing around here, but one thing, after that 3 years and 5 year period, we are going to be looking for new space. So we're going to be starting a overall fundraising campaign, which integral to that is really kind of celebrating who we are, celebrating our culture, bringing our message to a wider group. So it's not just falling on our core members that typically support, but allow a wider range of the community to be able to have the opportunity to know who we are and support who we are. And as a part of that, we're going to be part of those things. We're going to be continuing to build out our relocation task force. And if there's somebody who has a lot of experience with this type of thing, that's not here, it could be applicable to help us with those endeavors. And obviously carpentry is going to be tough for regional people too. But yeah, if you guys are around, come cruise around and see what we're up to. We could always use your help. So with that, is Sheba going to handle some membership stuff, and I'll hand it off to her.
So, hi, I'm Sheba. If you don't know me, you probably know who the heck I am on Twitter. So I'm going to talk a little bit about membership. Last year was my first year taking point on membership, so I learned a lot. So we ended up with almost 5,000 members in 2017. It was a little dip from the year before. Again, we had a bump in membership that was related to MLS Cup. But there we are. When I made this slide, we had over 3,500 already renewed or signed up. It's over 3,600 now, 3 days later. So yay, good job. Members in 47 states, the District of Columbia, and 10 countries. So the 3 states that were not represented last year were, what was it, Maine, Mississippi, and North Dakota. Can you tell me? North Dakota. So get on it, you guys. But everybody else, thank you. You're awesome. Things that we're going to be focusing on for this coming year, related to what Stefanzi was saying about a capital campaign and needing to think about permanent facilities. We really need to increase awareness of our mission and vision and work, starting with casual supporters who maybe come to games but still don't know who we are and what we do, and then expanding that out. We want to, of course, maintain membership growth and renewal rates. We also want to think about what we are doing for our regional supporters group members. Hi, that's you guys. So this is an example of one of the things that we've talked about doing for membership, is figuring out ways that we can be there and engage. I don't want to use buzzwords, but ways that we can work together. My drink is over there. Okay, they said activate. Someone have a drink for me. The stuff that we're looking for membership help-wise is we have started something on the website here where people can actually opt in to get more notifications about volunteer opportunities. Always working on the ongoing database and mailing list stuff. We do information tables at various events, not just games. And of course, you know, if you got your membership packet, that was because a whole bunch of people put those things together and got them out. If you haven't got your packet yet, it's because you're out of area and you renewed recently, and I need Stefanzi to help me with with stamps.com. So now we're going to bring Zach on, who's going to talk a little bit about partners.
It's like
Maybe the least relevant section. I don't know.
a cameo.
I know.
Hey guys, I'm Zach, new board member. Thank you. And this is the first year I'm really getting involved with partnerships, but I'm really excited about it. I've been in the service industry around Portland for 15 years, so with probably 100 out of 125 of our partners being pubs, I feel like it's a place that I can excel in. So at the top of the slide, you'll see kind of us sharing that the part of partnerships that we're interested in is that they're kind of signing up for our ethos, or they understand kind of like what we're all about, and they want to support that more so than just being like a one-off, like let's generate business type thing. So we hope to go into those relationships with that kind of understood. There's a couple examples there of ones that we like because they're kind of like giving directly back to our causes. You see Underdog there donates directly back to Operation Pitch Invasion. Kel's Brewery gives $1 for every pint rate back to 107st. And then we can do cool things with that. Let's see, moving down to plans and improvements. You'll be happy to see you guys in there. It's definitely, you guys are coming up a lot as a place that we want to focus on supporting. And so who knows what we can do with partnerships, but if you guys have ideas, I'm all ears. If we can get pubs in your community to support 107ers or become a partner, that would be something that we would love to do to support you guys. Like there's a lot of official spots in different cities. San Diego, I think their spot is like 10 Barrel Brewing, but I recently had somebody contact me from St. Archer's saying, hey, I really love what you guys do. And I'm like, well, take our partnership over to your brewery and support what we do that way. So yeah, supporting you guys through partnerships is something that we hope that we can build. So I'm all ears if you guys have ideas for that. As far as ones that you guys might be interested in visiting Portland, we're talking with the Hostel in Northwest Portland. It's over on Gleason and 18th, with rooms starting at $25 a piece, and they're interested in partnering with us. So that might be something that you guys can use when you're in town. Yeah, please contact me, reach out with ideas you guys have with ways that we can develop partnerships in your communities and give back to the organization. Thank you.
Hi, I'm back. So this next one is about community outreach. This is the town part of Team Town, Timbers Army and Riveters, and we have a lot to be proud of in the last year. Your member dollars supported some really important things. We had 2 Timbers Army and Riveters themed DHS, that's Department of Human Services, visitation room makeovers for where foster kids can meet and reconnect with their parents, which can be a really stressful time. You may have seen that because the person who spearheaded that, Keith Palau, was the MLS Community Supporter of the Year. I forget what the title is, but he did super awesome work getting that done, and there's more to come on that front in this year. We had over 200 people trained in administering CPR and using AEDs in 2017 for free. We've had over 750 people trained since 2013. That's an initiative that Dale Montgomery has taken on, which came directly out of a soccer match. We have a blood drive with 73 pints successfully donated, 327 pints over the last 5 years. Nick Brock has been spearheading that. Last year with the Giselle Courier Scholarship Fund, we funded 49 youth soccer scholarships locally, totaling almost $20,000. And thanks to a combination of fundraising and member dollars, we used those things to good end with over $90,000 in total charitable donations in 2017, including $12,500 to OPI, which pretty much came from the game day ticket exchange. So when people donate tickets to matches and then somebody else buys them, that money went pretty much to OPI. And then another, as I said, almost $20,000 to soccer scholarships for kids. Things that we really need to improve in community outreach is improve our outward-facing communication of the outreach work that members do. In other words, tell people who are not us and are not connected to us the stuff that we do. That's going to be really important, not just because it's good practice, but because if we're going to be looking to secure a permanent space, we need more people to associate us with all the things we do. The town part of Team Town TA Riveters is going to be really important. We also want to work more on connecting immigrant refugee children and teens with soccer resources. Last Saturday, we had a wonderful event where a high school coach who also coaches the Washington Timbers came down and ran a showcase for immigrant and refugee kids from the Africa House. And we invited the head of the Timbers Academy programs, and a U.S. soccer scout was there as well. And while they didn't see a person at that point that they would pick up, mostly because the kids were 14 to 18, it really established some positive connections and some things going forward that we're really looking to do this year. We're hoping, it'd be a great thing if we could connect immigrant and refugee kids with soccer and maybe one day see them wearing Timbers green or Thorns red. We also want to continue to focus on vulnerable members of the community. That's always going to be a part of who we are and what we do. And then, of course, the volunteer asks, once again, having people opt in for being notified about volunteer stuff. And we really have some soccer-specific outreach needs. This is stuff that's related more to the local area here, but we need people who can help us with the Giselle Courier Scholarship Fund. We need people with connections to youth soccer, and we would love to run more soccer-specific volunteer events, so we're going to need people who are able to do those things. And I believe, Nick, you are now up for game day, correct? Game day?
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Am I doing this? Okay. Hello. So for 2017 was a typical year for us. Our TIFO was voted one of the best in North American soccer. Riveters TIFO was top notch, best in the country, probably the world. For 2018, what we're trying to do is use more of the banners and reuse the TIFO, so we're not spending so much money on new supplies and stuff like that. And for volunteer needs, generally speaking, we need TIFO project managers, TIFO idea people. If you have any sort of like design ideas, thoughts, send them our way. And then flag crew backup, you already need backups. Most of you probably won't be able to help with that, but if you know anybody, feel free to get in touch. And that's pretty much it.
So one of the things that we have tried to do in the past was TIFO for the RSGs. So we'd like to support you with that. It does require a little bit of planning. We had we've done one or two, we've had a couple false starts, but that is a resource that's available to you guys. You got to give us enough time that we can fit it in with the other plans of stuff we've got going on. But if you have an away match and you want something for your section, the more firmed up, the better it is for us. Like if you've got art that's in InDesign or Photoshop and it's ready to go and you know what size it is, we can do everything from cut you a piece of fabric and ship it to you, to tracing it and shipping it to you. I guess we could even paint it and ship it to you, although that would get really expensive. But whatever we can do in that arena to help you guys. I know for a lot of people, just the idea of getting something traced could be overwhelming. And of course, we're always here for suggestions and advice. The other thing too is if you are coming out for a match where we are doing TIFO and you want to be involved in that effort, get a hold of me. This is Mike speaking. Get a hold of me and we'll do everything we can to get you hooked up with that. Because I know that, it's not like you can do it all the time.
The other thing is, if you're going to be in town, you can always opt in for being notified about TIFO stuff.
No, we're not doing the opt-in thing for TIFO.
Okay.
Well, it's on the list, but we haven't got the
We're taking it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. And that is a bunch, which is me. So 2017, That was the first time we had the Black Party. It was very, very successful. We made a lot of money thanks to Dutch Brothers sponsoring the screen. We had a huge turnout at the Pride Match. It's probably one of the biggest groups that we had overall. We had holiday, end of the year parties for both the Riveters and the Timbers Army. Both had a fantastic turnout. Place was completely packed for both groups. It was a lot of fun. This upcoming year, we're going to have viewing matches for the home opener for both supported groups. The Timbers Army will be at Lightning Row. The Thorns. What's that? Oh, 37-7, sorry. And the Riveters will be, we don't know.
They're waiting to do
We don't know yet. Okay, so as soon as we get a schedule, we'll figure that out. We'll be having a Black Party again for the Timbers Army. Probably something similar for the Riveters. Again, everything really depends on the schedule. We'll be trying to do a takeover again. It's probably not going to happen in 2018, but the process is starting. If you want to get involved with that, let us know. We're happy to take your ideas, see what we can do with that. We have a lot more events. Tentatively planned. If you have any thoughts, if anything you want to see happen, let us know. The biggest thing we need is ideas. We want to know what you want to do, and we're happy to make that happen. We just want to know what it is you want to see happen. You want more parties, you want more get-togethers, and array viewings. If you guys want to help with that, let us know. I think that's all for us. Next up is travel.
Drewski.
Hello, guys. So you have all at some point worked with me, whether you know what I look like or not. Here's what I look like. So you guys have been fantastic. It's great to get you guys more involved because last year you guys totally killed it. I don't know if we've posted this. We posted a picture of the infographic. Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
on Twitter.
So if you haven't seen that, one of the biggest numbers on there comes a lot from you guys. That in grand total, Timbers fans traveled a little over 2 million miles last year to away matches. So that's a massive, massive number. Coming away from the ISC, we were obviously the top-notch traveler, but by like leaps and bounds. You guys are amazing. So. With that, just a couple other recaps that we did sell. A little over 30,000 tickets last year across all platforms, USL, Open Cup, MLS, all that kind of fun stuff. Of that, that helped us sell out half of all the away matches that were of last year. Even most of those were on the East Coast, which is even fantastic in itself. The Riveters themselves sold 448 tickets, 150 of those going down to Orlando, which was fantastic. This is an aspect that we're going to be reaching out for you guys more this year and in the coming years to expand that number even more. We did have a successful TA Riveters Seattle Takeover weekend. For you guys that didn't know that happened, we had a Riveters match on a Saturday and a Timbers match, or a Riveters match, a Thorns match on Saturday and a Timbers match on Sunday. We did an overnight bus that stayed in Seattle, and we were able to take fans to both of those matches, and that was a pretty fantastic, successful weekend. Just for some numbers for you, you guys traveled from 42 different states, Washington, D.C., including 5 countries and 3 continents, which is pretty fantastic. So, as far as improvements, the travel team is integrated, so if you guys have Riveters questions or Timbers questions, I keep saying Riveters and Timbers, Thorns and Timbers questions, or Riveters and TA questions, you can send them all down to awaytravel@107ist.org, not timbersarmy.org. If you send them to timbersarmy.org, they should transfer over, so I should be getting those. But just to make sure you're sending those to 107ist just to be safe. We're looking for greater involvement from you guys, especially in this next one, including the Riveters away travel, especially with them getting a team in Real Salt Lake. We'll be calling on the Rocky Mountain crew and Montana to help get some people to that match. And then any other away travel outside of Cascadia, we'll be hoping to get you guys more involved on that side as well. Not that we need to be any better in the women's world, but it never hurts. Improvements on ticket availability, as you could tell, we pumped those tickets out pretty quickly this year. I set a bar that I should not have set for myself, but I'm going to hold to it. You guys got all those tickets. It's also fantastic that there was zero backlash on the members only for the first 2 weeks. That was for your guys' benefit, so you guys didn't lose a ticket opportunity. It's also to help provide security support for you guys in your stadiums. The people that should be buying those tickets as members should know the travel code of conduct, and they will be held to it even if they're not a member. So that was just to help you guys out more so. We will also be working with Maggie to update those away city info pages on our website. So she reaches out to you guys, help her out as much as possible. Yeah, and you'll be working with Lexi, who does most of our back-end website stuff. But we will be updating those. So she's going to be most of our info grabbing, and then we'll work with you guys to fix those and get those up to date because they're a little old and outdated. But we're moving on to you guys now. This is the map from last year. It is not completely updated. So if you don't see yourself on here, it's just because we haven't gotten to shrink your logo down so it's so tiny that you can't see it and slap it on a state. But as you can tell, over the years, there has been a substantial growth. We added 5 more groups between as in 2017. We are in 5 countries now, which is just ridiculous. And we're looking to expand that more with a Reno group potentially coming in this year, hopefully a Nashville group to help out with the expansion team there, and then Northern Spain and Buenos Aires as well. England is also not on here, but I don't know if they have completely actually registered themselves or not, but I know that there's a group there. For you guys, we're looking to solidify the connection between you guys and us. As well as the other committees that may not be represented by a board member. This is the first step into doing that by allowing you guys to be a part of the general meeting. We'll be doing more of these along the year, probably more specifically with myself and the travel team than with the entire board. But if there is ever an instance where you guys feel like you need to be a part of a board meeting or have something to bring to the board, please let me know. And we can schedule that into a board meeting and have you pop in. They are public to everybody that is here in Portland, so you guys should also have that opportunity. We are also growing more internationally. Like we said, we're in 5 countries, so we're hoping to get more of that going, which is just super cool. And we're also increasing the leadership and voice presence with you guys. We want you guys making more decisions in your local areas, whether it be with partners, what's going on at your tailgates, any aspect that you have. We want you guys being really the forefront for us out there and being our voice out there. So with the biggest thing with memberships going on sale or tickets going to mail, it's members. God, I cannot talk this evening. With tickets going to members only for the first couple of weeks, that was a big push to get more 1SF membership outside of just the Portland area, which we did see a pretty big push with that. So that was a pretty successful adventure there. Just improvement things for you guys. We're hoping to improve the experience with those travel guides, game day operations, like Mike was saying with TIFO, getting it out to you guys, and also with other front offices. If you guys ever have issues, please let me know. We want to make sure that your away days are as easy and enjoyable as they are here in Portland. So just let us know, as well as improved communications. And we're hoping to spread more of our story across the country. So we'll need you guys doing the community involvement that you guys do out there. We would love for you guys to share that with us so we can make sure everybody gets to know about it. You can see these next ones I've kind of already touched on, but we'll be doing more of these virtual meetings. Growing the Riveters support. We'll talk to the groups that this will pertain more to, such as the ECP and some of the Heartland. And then we'll continue to support this philanthropy that you guys are going. So if you guys ever need help with anything, just definitely shoot us an email, because we know we are not afraid to help out some people in need. So
Drew, there's a question that says,
What's up?
There's a question that said, do you think that there'll be any more allotment for LA Galaxy away?
if you are looking for LA Galaxy tickets, please join the wait list. I have a very small portion of tickets available.
I need 20.
So that's definitely not going to happen. I have a very small allotment, but just join the wait list. And unfortunately, if I've got we're basically sold out. I'll tell you that, but I've squeezed a few more tickets out. So join the wait list. If you get off of it, cool. If you aren't able to get tickets through what we are given, I will definitely assist you guys in getting tickets to the match. You will probably just be in the next section over near us, but not actually in that section. Please do not try to just squeeze into that section. It's rude and causes issues.
The question that was sort of related, just while you're up there, is it possible to, for an RSG learn of 107's members in their particular region to help connect them?
Absolutely. That information we can give to you. I can even email you an entire list of who is a member in your area. It won't include any crazy contact information, but I can just at least give you a list of names so you guys know who's already a member, who's not, who you need to put pressure on to potentially becoming a member, that kind of thing.
I'd ask you to direct those to me because then I can be really specific about like zip codes and areas, because just because somebody says they're in, you know, like Ohio, I know there could be like somebody actually closer in a neighboring state. Or
Perfect.
like
So if you didn't hear that, shoot those inquiries. You can CC in me as well, or CC Sheba into them, but make sure. Yeah, but hit Sheba up if you have more of a membership stuff. She has all those information, and it saves a middleman, and she can get you definite information on that. Any other quick questions? We'll do a question and answer at the end too, if you think of something along the way. So for Galaxy, really sorry for not Galaxy, LAFC. It's with being as coy as possible, but being stupid. So you will not, don't expect a whole lot of tickets. Let's just put it that way. I'm sorry. I'm going to go because I'm going to crawl in a corner and cry. All right. Who's next? Lexi, communications. Yeah.
Tripping over everything.
Hey, what's up? Okay, so yeah, 2017, the main focus was on coordination. So basically we've got two different comms teams, you know, the Riveters kind of siloed off, and then we've got TA and 107ist working, you know, pretty much the same people working on those. And then like 50 zillion other accounts out there on Twitter and Facebook and so on, things for merch, things for travel and so forth. And so we've really been trying to make sure that people are communicating with one another. No Pity Originals will be another one like that. In 2016, we focused on migrating the website into Wild Apricot so that the member database would be in the same place, and we could combine a lot of those functions. Riveters and TA communications were just kind of incidentally connected because I was working on both teams and I had access to the accounts and could just send stuff out together. That's more formalized now, to where it's not necessarily me, and if I get hit by a bus, it will continue as a working relationship. So, Mike has directed us towards a social media consultant who's kind of advising us on how to consolidate some of these things, because what we really are concerned about is getting the right information to the right people at the right time, which has not always been our strong point. So that's very much where our focus is. 2017, the other thing is that Ray has completely kicked ass on pulling together the photography and AV team and you know, increasing the pool of photos, the quality of the photos, you know, so to really formalize the process for getting passes for game days. We're hoping in the coming year to get a bunch of quality video content going.
Yes.
So Drew touched on this, but one of the major things that we need from the RSG members in the coming year is travel content. And I've been working on that some, and Maggie's been working on that some, and we talked a little bit about it a couple of months ago and after resync. But basically what happened when we migrated the site is we felt strongly that we wanted to preserve our history and not just start over. So we pulled over all this stuff starting like 2010 or whatever. And a lot of it is like these random, city guides, that Brawley threw together from somebody he halfway talked to or whatever. And then we got new teams who came on and we don't have any content for those cities, that kind of thing. A lot of the TIFO stuff is just randomly in blog posts. So, I mean, we're trying to pull it all together. My goal is to make that part of the site really much better, bring that up to date and make it possible to find things. As I say, continue to work with Maggie and or with me, and we'll coordinate that as far as the travel content. Also, just original blog posts. We are always interested. We really need to be telling our story. This is an area, again, where we, I think, can do a ton better than we currently do. So if you have experiences traveling to matches, either coming to town or if you want to tell the story of a game day where you're at or in some city on your part of the country, please, submit a blog post to us. A lot of times I'll go out and I'll see that somebody posted something really excellent in one of the RSG Facebook groups, and I'll be like, hey, can we syndicate this, So, I'm looking, but if you have an idea you want to pitch as far as stuff to put on either the TA or the Riveter site, please come to me. We're more than happy to take that kind of content. So, and also in the coming year, one thing we keep getting asked is it possible to fold in the Riveters website into the TA 107ist site on Wild Apricot? The short answer is not easily, not really, because of the way that it's structured and because of the way that Wild Apricot deals with domain hosting. But we're going to try to at least improve those tie-ins and also move over the Riveters site onto a platform that's a little better looking and easy to manage than the current one. So that's what I got. Who is next? Tech.
What's up? I'm Ray Terrell, for those who have not met me. So technology. So as Lexi mentioned, we got a new web platform, which is Wild Apricot. Benefits being that there's the integrated ticketing, email, and membership. If you're interacting with timbersarmoring.org, that is Wild Apricot behind the scenes. It's saving us a lot of money. It's a lot simpler to manage than what we were doing before, which is awesome. So other things we did, we switched over to Google Suite as our email and productivity platform. So the old system was terrible. This new system is much better. Again, it's saving us money. We've got shared resource and calendaring. So we're trying to put some structure around things like who's using the fan lodin at what particular time, who's using the TIFO garage, just trying to improve those efficiencies. And last year we automated the away ticket email process, which if anybody is familiar, that was something that was manually done. So if we sold 500 tickets, somebody had to individually send those out. It sounds like that process is not going to be possible going forward because of a change from the other teams, but Drew and I will talk about this and figure out if we can find another solution.
I'm not happy about it.
That's terrible. So the next thing is TAFC, which is my primary responsibility. So we have continued to grow teams. We're up to 40 plus teams, depending on how you define a team. We've got multiple championship matches at Providence Park. So the TAFC division, I think we snuck the D3-2 division match at Providence Park. We've had 2 extremely successful tournaments. Shout out to Don, one of our new board members who has run those tournaments. Brought in thousands of dollars at each one, which is amazing. We built a beautiful TAFC ball, which you can buy at No Pity Van. It's got the Timbers Army logo on there. It's awesome quality. We've got a new TAFC management platform and a major overhaul of the financial and reporting. So we bought a platform, Bonzi, for managing our teams. With 40 plus teams, it's pretty complicated. And we're still kind of going through a transition with things, but it's been pretty good so far. Another major thing, TAFC is now an official OASA league, the Oregon Athletic Soccer Association. So it means that we are a U.S. soccer league officially. So we can use the insurance from U.S. Soccer. We can qualify for the U.S. Open Cup, which is insane. Anyway. And we've got 2 official U.S. soccer assigners. Yeah. All-star team, totally. So what that means basically is we have the ability to run our own league. And so in the spring, we're going to start that. It's going to be a work in progress, but we will run our own league going forward, which is pretty amazing. If you guys know anything about soccer leagues and rec leagues, it's pretty much a disaster in the Portland area right now. So 2018, things for improvement. We're continuing to increase the efficiencies and decrease the complexity. Again, 40 plus teams, pretty complicated. We've got the new TASC division, which is us breaking out in our OASA league. If anybody is interested in being the commissioner of a league, let me know. We have a lot of leagues, a lot of teams. There's a lot of management that goes into that, making sure players pay on time, making sure the teams register on time, that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of work that happens behind the scenes. Well, that's it. Rose City Riveters.
Go Dawn.
Hi. 2017, the Thorns. Oh, I'm Dawn. I heard go Dawn. So the Thorns won their second championship, which was amazing and a lot of fun. And part of that is we had 150 people travel to Orlando for the championship game. We had 200 people in the stands, all cheering and going crazy, which was amazing. 2018, for the Independent Supporters Council, the Riveter Shields Up was the TIFO of the year. And if you didn't see it or didn't know, we had 150 individual painted shields. We had even a family that was on vacation from New York in Portland and stopped by the TIFO garage and said, "We love the Thorns. Can we paint some shields with you?" So it was really, really cool.
It was terrible. I mean, what?
Did they have a Muppet face?
They did have a Muppet face.
So it was pretty amazing. That's right. It did beat Bob Ross, which
Those were the two.
The top two were the Timbers and
TA versus Riveters.
Yep, but Riveters took it.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
Very well deserved.
We continued our match day drive to traditions. We partnered a lot this past year with the Timbers Army for several doubleheader weekends. And people brought by all kinds of wonderful items that people needed in the community, and it was really, really successful. I'm sure we're going to be doing some more double headers with the various construction being done at the stadium this year. Let's see. We donated over $10,000 to local organizations like the Living Room, Transactive, Rock and Roll Camp for Girls, Pioneer Courthouse Square. We have a brick there now that says Rose City Riveters, and Street Roots. I was just going to say Street Roots was a scarf that we partnered with No Pity, and it was wildly successful. We're seeing a growth across the board in participating at events. I'm not quite sure what that means. I didn't write it. But we added events to the steering committee this year as an actual committee.
It just means more people are coming out.
We do have a lot of people coming out for stuff. A lot of places, every time we do something, we have to go find another venue because we're out of space. So, which is a great problem to have. 2018, areas for improvement and plans. Currently, we're doing the TIFO Hero Pin fundraiser. You can go on the Rose City Riveters webpage, and if you donate $10 or more, we will mail you a fantastic pin that says TIFO Hero. We started Riveters Bingo Nights, which is crazy and wonderful for an off-season, silly season. Sunday yells at you at a venue. It's been moving around and it's really, really fun, and people are going crazy over it. So it's pretty fun. We're going to start doing a few adjustments to it because we didn't know how it would go. So some of it, we're going to start doing fundraising out of it and donating part of the proceeds to, I think the next one is Raphael House. And we'll just see how long it goes. My guess is it's going to be off season only because we're all pretty busy during the season, but we'll see. And we had a lot of kick-ass merch last year, but we're going to even raise the bar some more. And we have an amazing crew that has great ideas. So, and we'll be adding more events. We don't know exactly what they'll be yet. I've heard people, I'm in charge of events. People have come to me about they want a dog park meetup and a barbecue or something. So
We now know the Storm home opener day, so we're gonna have a combined season opener party.
yes, if I don't know if you probably can't hear Lexi, but we just got the home opener date for the Thorns, and it's going to be the same weekend as the Timber. So we'll do a combined season opener with the TA and the Riveters, and we'll just be one big happy family, rocking out, drinking beer, having a good time. I prefer to be dancing, but whatever. We'll do that too, right?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Okay, let's move on. Volunteer asks, there's definitely some things that you guys can help us out with. We're always looking for writers and folks to write blogs, whether you've attended a game in your area or if you have something great that you want to share, and send it over and we'll take a look at it. Lexi will see if it's works for what we need and put it up.
Joe is the contact.
Oh, and Joe is a contact. I think we have a info at Rose City Riveters email. Merch, they're always looking for great ideas and designs. So again, hit the Rose City Riveters website and you can help with that. TIFO, again, design ideas. We're always looking for ideas of different things. Outreach is probably a little harder, but we know you guys do stuff in your own areas, so definitely continue that stuff and tell us about it, write about it, and let us post about it. And the travel bus captains probably doesn't really apply, but if you join a game and you get on the bus, I actually do know somebody who comes from Montana, her and her wife, just to ride the bus to a Seattle game. So for the experience. So it's not out of the question. And again, always looking for bloggers. And I think that's it. Oh, wait, I have call for volunteers.
Well, that's general.
Just let them know that, yeah, this is sort of a sign-up, but right now, we'd like to also know what.
Actually, I wanted to something I missed with merch. I wanted to.
Stefanzi has something.
So something specific.
People in Seattle.
What?
I just want to, people in Seattle. So
You yourself, would you please use the chat?
okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I just had one thing that was specific to you guys that I wanted to make sure I mentioned related to merch, and I forgot to. Merch is going to continue. Nobody Originals is going to continue to pull back some of the merch line to make sure it's available online. We want to make sure that's continued for you guys to be able to have a crack at some of the designs, because some of them sell out right away. And that's something I know you guys have expressed interest in. I want to keep that available.
I have to.
You shipping things Cascadia.
Do you want to do?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I just muted I had to take the presentation down and mute everybody. There was somebody that was making a lot of noise. Anyway, so the last slide was basically, hey, you should have seen it in your 107ist. Drew, you're on camera. We can see you snarking. We can see you smirking. The 107ist email is going to include a link to these forms where you can go in and opt in, provide some information on what you'd like to get involved in, and then as well as opt in for other opportunities. Anyway, so I think that was the last slide.
Joseph, The timeline to relocate the fan login was 3 years. It's 3 years for the fan login, 5 years for the Tifo garage.
Are there other questions in there?
Not that I've gotten yet.
Okay. If you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat.
Well, he's been doing a good job of communicating through the presentation.
Yeah, we should answer the questions. Well, I guess.
There's been no questions.
Okay. Yeah, because the questions don't get recorded. The chat doesn't get recorded when you record the webinar. So if there's questions, we should like repeat them and record them.
Just so everybody, if somebody hasn't looked at the chat, one thing that did come up was that the Southland Irregulars were able to include their own stickers in their members.
That was super awesome.
Member mailouts for their local members down in Southern California.
Yeah, and that will continue. I just flag those when I do the weekly membership runs. I always just run a zip code list, and anybody who is, I go Fresno and South. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. So Shiva's been really good on that. If any of you have any stickers or a business card like Desert Core is looking like they want to do, just make sure that Shiva and I know, and then we'll make sure that we get that in there, and we'll coordinate and get whatever you want to get to your members that way.
So Scott asked the approximate lead time ideal for TIFO help. Of course, my answer is going to be as much as humanly possible. But really, if you've got a final design and you're just shipping a design and you need it traced, a couple weeks on that, right? Plus shipping time. Give us 2 weeks to trace and 4 or 5 days for it to ship. So 3 weeks. I think would be good. Again, and really, ideally, you're just going to ship us an InDesign file. You're going to ship us a Photoshop thing and say, trace this at this size. We don't know. We don't have the, we're running into problems before. We're like, well, how big should it be? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't know the stadium. I don't know the regulations. So,
I know most of your, and you guys should know most of your.
Yeah.
So make sure that I'm CC'd in that, so I can make sure that you know that it's going to fit in your stadium.
Yep.
I'm usually the one that's tracing this to us, so I should know anyway. But yeah, we can definitely trace anything you want. Just like you said, yeah, about 3 weeks is preferred.
A couple weeks to trace it and a week to ship it. And I'll take all the credit, but Drew will do all the work.
I'm totally fine with that.
That is a good president.
All right. Any other questions for the chat? If not, anything going once?
If you have any questions, just email me. You guys have all of my email, or you can email board@107s.org.
Or you could file a COM100 ticket using the support email alias. Anyway, all right. Hey, thanks a lot. Let us know. Oh, I just want to say thank you much for all of you. You're very welcome, Joseph. This is something we kind of came up with at the last minute. We're like, we could webcast this. So I'm glad people found value in it. I think it's something we will continue to do. Hopefully that helps you guys feel more connected to us, because we certainly are looking ways to bridge that connection and that distance and really, include you because of all the tremendous work you guys do. It's really appreciated by everybody here on the board. So with that, for those of you on the East Coast, get to bed. For those of you on the West Coast, have the rest of a nice rest of the evening.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
And meeting for